You know what I just realized? I never did anything for 200 subs. That's mostly in part of how I've kept juggling that number for a while now. But since I'm officially in the 200s, now's the perfect time to do something special for it. And what better way to celebrate 200 subscribers than by looking over my biggest failures? Oh, right, I need to announce the topic. Yeah, this special's gonna be the top 10 worst commentaries I've made. For the 5 years I did commentaries, I've been told from time to time that I never admit I'm wrong. Well, it's time to shatter that idea like a window in the ghetto. Couple rules. 1, I actually had to have made the video or at least had a huge hand in its creation, so co-ops that I don't claim responsibility for will not be on this list. 2nd, I'm only adding videos I disowned, so videos that I just don't feel very proud of, or videos that simply get negative reception but I still stand by, won't be included. Which means that my commentary on Midnight Phantom won't be on here, for example. Conversely, though I don't see it happening, if a video you like from me is on this list, don't feel stupid for liking it. Our opinions on the video just differed. So, if you're ready, we're counting down the top 10 worst commentaries I've made. To really get things going, I thought it'd be appropriate to start at the list with the first video I've ever disowned. Believe it or not, this one in particular came pretty early on in my commentary career, and I disowned it in like mere days. The video I'm talking about, of course, is my commentary on Mr. Cool Guy 32. And problem number 1. Is it really that hard to pronounce my username? It's not. I even said it myself in the video. It's not that hard. SLOTHBOY494. Come on, that should fly right off the tongue. Right off the bat, the fact that this is a response commentary should already give a decent idea of what you're getting into in terms of disowned videos. I think what really put this video on the road to the nether realm was what I was responding to. Cool Guy had done a commentary on my first commentary on Lance 1000. Yeah, I think I could have picked more worthwhile battles there. Also, contrary to what my past self said, there is in fact a bad time to defend yourself, and one of those times being when the video you're defending yourself from in question is deleted. I don't exactly know when the video was released, but I do know that it was deleted the same day Lance deleted his infamous commentary on me. Either way, going after that video with those conditions in mind made me look super vindictive, and really that wasn't necessary in the least bit. The points I made weren't anything laudable either. If I could slice something into my defense, Cool Guy's video was just so void of substance that refuting anything was an uphill battle, which I guess would further prove why I shouldn't have responded to it, but the good points I made were passable at best. I also said I'd only make a certain point once, but I'd immediately go against that and repeat the point like 4 times. I don't know. Cool Guy's video was such an obnoxious little faggot throughout the video, and with his shouting and condescension, so I really felt like knocking him down a few pegs. But in hindsight, I shouldn't have let him get under my skin like that. In essence, my response to him was nothing more than a revenge fanfic, and I think anyone who's seen Chambers of My Heart CC rant from 4 years ago can see the fatal errors in making those. One of the biggest mistakes a commentator can make is making a pointless commentary. If a commentary has no point in existing, then it can seriously kill any momentum it had going for it. And a decent way to make a pointless commentary is to just push one out due to some arbitrary monthly schedule and the fact that you had something to get off your chest. For my first defense in pointless video making, I ring in the number 9 entry with my commentary on Cryopez. Them kissing Microsoft's ass and limitlessly praising them shouldn't come as a shock to you, nor should you take the fanboys seriously. In fact, you even bring them up as feeding into what they want. They know this is gonna piss PS4 fans off, so they exploit it to get that result. Do you remember this video at all? It's okay if you don't. No one does. And on some level, I probably should have kept it that way. Looking back at this video, I have no idea why I felt like I needed to commentate on it. This video is basically like a Twinkie, all fluff and filler. Sure, Cryopez did sound pretty whiny about Rise of the Tomb Raider being a timed exclusive for Xbox One, but at the end of the day, I was debunking statements that realistically didn't need to be debunked. Yeah, all I did in that video was tack at him for 12 minutes. Oh yeah, and then there's that ending line in my final thoughts where I practically admitted there was no reason for me to make the video. If we helped you out, you're welcome, bud. If you knew about this already, then that's awesome. Way to go, old me. Way to fucking go. Yeah, I'm sure Cryopez is real grateful that we told him something he literally could have just Googled. It's not like this video was entertaining either. I didn't make any jokes or say anything profound that will have stuck around in your head. But again, this video was made when I still adhered to some stupid monthly schedule, and now you know one of the reasons why I don't follow a strict time frame anymore. No, I'm pretty sure if I'd released this video with my current schedule, it wouldn't have mattered, because the main problem with this video is that I have virtually nothing worth listening to. What's the point of making a video if you have no noteworthy statements? Well, if there is a point to it, my video on Cryopus certainly won't help you find it. I remember that trend I tried to follow in summer 2016 where I commentated on top 10 worst YouTubers lists, because there were always something I wanted to cover. However, since I was a few years late to that party, that soil yielded no bounty. But given my first attempt at covering those types of lists, maybe that was a good thing.
You're a fucking idiot!
Oh yay! The overused Filthy Frank meme that everyone seems to be abusing. Such creativity. You know, while we're at it, let me pull up a John Cena meme. How about it?
When this video first came out, I was completely oblivious as to how badly I actually fucked it up. For one thing, it was my first full-length commentary edited using Shotcut. And, my editing was kind of all over the place. I wish I'd realized the random black screens in the beginning of my clips, but that was before I'd learned about dragging images to the very start of the timeline. To be fair, however, Shotcut basically never explains anything to you, which is also why I unintentionally ear-raped my audience with my first ever audio duct.
I can only imagine how disappointed everyone who actually commented was when they found out who the #1 entry is.
Here's to not knowing how to balance volumes. So along with my slappy editing, it appears that I had my head up my ass while scripting this whole thing. There was very little reason for me to complain about Expert's Leafy style production values. I mean, I never get into Leafy, so that's the reason I thought he just sucked at editing, but in hindsight, this point sounds like a massive nitpick, mostly because it is one. Oh, and there's that fact that I mixed up projection with double standards. And let's not forget me accidentally adding on to his point due to a lack of thinking before typing.
It's their video. They're not expecting some asshole like you to go over there and steal it and react to it.
You don't know that! I mean, I can guarantee you didn't expect me to take this commentary on you, and I sure as fuck didn't ask you if I could do it.
It must have been an off day for me. I'll admit I wasn't wrong about everything in this video. I definitely stand by my point about how stupid it is of him to put a reactor higher on the worst list than Sam Pepper, a fucking sexual predator, but I wasn't exactly good at conveying my problems with Expert's entries as a whole. If there's anything left I could say about this video, it's that the sequel I made to it is definitely more deserving of your time. Did you think I was always the feminazi anarchist I am now? Well, then you've probably never seen my first commentary, and I'm sorry for defiling your memories by showing it to you today.
I'm actually gonna tell you people what I think about you now!
I think that there's more to being a president than criticizing people. I'm not into politics either, but I know for a fact this isn't gonna end well. Yes, my commentary on Cult of Dusty certainly did not end up being the debut I intended it to be. But perhaps I should preface this entry by telling you exactly what my political views were at the time of me making this. I was a bit of a right libertarian. Yeah, I was pretty damn stupid, and this video is a decent exhibit of that. The gears in my brain definitely weren't turning here, because my responses were the equivalent of beating someone half to death with a crowbar and asking them to recite Coulom's law flawlessly. Right out the gate, there's me gimping for rich folks as if Bill Gates himself was gonna give me $1 billion just because I stood up for him against a country boy on the internet. Okay, listen, you hobo. Just because you're a dirt poor dumbass doesn't give you the right to call rich people whiny greedy fucks at every twist and turn. The rich people I hang out with are very generous and not once have whined about their taxes or anything else. Me splitting hairs as to why pardoning people in prison for weed is bad by attaching completely separate crimes to possession.
I don't care how long your sentence is, if you've been sentenced for marijuana, tomorrow your ass is walking free!
Sure, go ahead and release a bunch of people who are in jail for weed solely because they're in jail for weed. Did you stop to think what they could be in for? You know, extortion, murder, assault, who the fuck knows what else they did just to get some hands on weed. And me saying that because college is optional, that means publicly funded colleges shouldn't exist, despite Dusty already making note of the optional nature of higher education.
The government will have your back. We will set up college campuses all over this country, completely subsidized by the government, so you people can have all the education that you want perfectly free.
You know that college is completely optional, right? If you don't want to go, or if you can't afford to, no one's forcing you into it. As a little fun fact, there was actually a point I forewent because I never uploaded the audio clip to my computer. It was in response to Dusty saying he'd implement universal healthcare in his second week as president. My retort? I actually fucking whine that universal healthcare is communistic. Yeah, I was exactly like those PragerU fags who were all about personal freedom unless it means helping somebody else. I really cannot believe that I used to think this way. I guess this is what happens when your parents indoctrinate you into their personal beliefs. You become just as ill-informed as they are. But I couldn't be happier with how I am today. I really have grown as a person and moved away from such an amateurish way of thinking. What was it I said in the beginning of that commentary?
Alright, let's fuck this up.
Yeah, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, younger me. You definitely fucked something up, but it wasn't Dusty's video. Hey, remember my commentary group? You know the one, the Syndicate of Outcasted Commentators? Ah, those are some fun times. In all honesty, I don't regret it one bit. I did what I could for it, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. But you know what's one thing that definitely had less purpose being created than the group itself? Our commentary on Lunatic the Game.
Sup, losers, wake up.
Jason, I have a good question for you. Why did you kidnap all of us?
Because vengeance.
But DiCaprio isn't here.
What DiCaprio? Leonardo DiCaprio? Because you know we can't get him.
Yep, 4 years later and this video is still a massive stinker. I really don't know what was going through our heads when we decided to release the video. Let's start with the biggest problem with the video. Clown Dude wrote the whole thing! Yeah, minus our final thoughts and some edits Kurumi made to the outro skit, Clown Dude decided to take complete control over the script. I will take responsibility as leader for not putting my foot down and canning this one, but if any of you guys know what Clown Dude is like, trust me when I say that taking charge is easier said than done where he's involved. The next part is our audio troubles. All of us sounded distractingly different from each other, with Kurumi and Justin being barely audible, Jason sounding like he was coming from a CB radio, and Clown Dude's voice cracking like the Liberty Bell. And that's not even counting his shitty-ass ear rape in his final thoughts.
Seriously, never do this again! You hack! You happy quack!
Just send me your hearing test bills if you got any. Our arguments? They were basically fictional. And again, this is my fault for not making necessary revisions. Cause to be truthful, I don't even understand half of what I was saying. It's not even like Lunatic's video was hard to commentate on. We just didn't put our best foot forward. In fact, we didn't put any foot forward. We just stamped our feet into the lithosphere and pretended we were trapped. Like, at least with the previous entries, I took the videos at least somewhat seriously. None of us involved, especially me, took this as seriously as we should have. Effort means everything to the outcome of a video, and a lack of it can kill the video as quickly as it starts. But I guess some lessons have to be learned the hard way, don't they? By far, the staple of my channel is political commentaries, and that's kind of by accident. I just ended up having the most fun covering videos of that specific genre, and that's what stuck, even if it didn't always end well for me. But if you really want to see how low it can go, look no further than my commentary on MILO STEWART.
That's what racism and bigotry leads to, dumb fuck. What, do you think violence against women exists because women are perceived to be important? Or that Jim Crow laws were somewhat lenient? Or hell, anything Trump has said about foreign policy is actually negligible? I mean, I know that you're a fucking idiot, but at least try to be subtle about it.
Sorry, I know some people said this video was a step up from some of my other stuff, but I honestly can't stand it. Not only was I obviously riding Ponder's coattails with her commentary coming out only a week or so prior to mine, but it was such an insincere attempt to dissuade people from throwing the godforsaken SJW label at me by saying, "Hey look, here's someone with similar politics to me, and I disagree with him. I'm not as pathetic as you think." Which, really, is not the same mentality I had when I first set out to make commentaries. In essence, I was being a huge sellout with this commentary, and it shows with how I made a half-hearted attempt in finding problems that weren't there. Yep, you know the part I'm talking about.
Proof, proof, proof. Where the fuck is it? You can't just reference something like that and expect us to believe you sight unseen. You actually have to present this shit to me so I can actually take you seriously. But because you leave me with nothing, I will do nothing of the sort.
This is all ignoring the big issue with how much I, and many other people who went after MILO's video, missed the point he was making. MILO was only arguing how privileged people have subconscious biases that they're often not aware of. He didn't literally mean all white men are racist and sexist. I still maintain the fact that MILO conveyed this message badly, and if I'm correct, it was one of his earliest videos, so that might have had something to do with it. but that doesn't mean my attempt at joining the cool kids was any better. And you might have noticed that I've been referring to this as an attempt a lot, because that's all this video is, at its core. An attempt. An attempt that probably should have never been made. I think Panda put it best, as she usually does.
Snake! You fucked it up!
Yeah, I really did. Co-ops. I like them. In fact, the video that put me on the radar was a co-op, and a couple of my best commentaries are co-ops. However, while co-ops are my favorite videos to do, it wasn't always easy going. I think this video right here is a good example of that.
Oh, ain't this a surprise? Another ranter bitching about BOP. Seriously, if you want your rant to have credibility, don't mention BOP or else you'll be taken as seriously as a nuke threat from North Korea.
Of course anyone who rants at the community brings up BOP. I blame Eddie the scammer for this nonsense.
Oh dear, does anyone even remember this video? If not, I don't blame you. It was terrible. In my first co-op with the DiCaprio DeLorean, we thought we had found commentary gold with one of the easiest targets ever, a CC rant. But this was no ordinary CC rant. It was a CC rant by someone who distorted their voice, which probably should have been a huge giveaway that the person we were covering in question was a troll. But in either way, it's not like if No More Travis wasn't a troll that our points would have held up all that much. But really, I think the fact that this video came out a mere week after a certain video of mine that may or may not have ended up at the #1 spot that I had said I'd try to do better next time over didn't help at all. Well then, that's really all I got to say about this video. It's easily one of my biggest mistakes, and looking back on it, it makes me red in the face. Next entry. I think I might have taken avatars a bit too seriously during my time as a commentator, and for the life of me I can never figure out why. Like, when you really get down to it, all an avatar is just the kind of picture you set your voice to. So I don't know why I took them so seriously. You can probably tell where I'm going with this, so why not just bite the bullet and showcase the #3 entry, that being my avatar test run.
Right, because that totally doesn't make it sound like you're just trying to shield yourself from negative reactions and flame wars. Except that it does. A lot.
Okay, I know I said in this very video that I wasn't going to include it in my main commentary series, but let's be honest here. It was, for all intents and purposes, a commentary, whether I wanted to admit it or not. Yeah, digging up a 2-year-old video for the sole point of seeing what it looked like if I used a different video game character as my avatar as well, let's just say I've made better decisions. I will be completely upfront with you. I did have a biting urge to cover Gamertron's video that Acrolath covered, and the impetus that I felt there were things he could have said. Little to my knowledge, the reason he didn't say those things is because those things were wrong. Watching Acrolath's commentary on this video was painful. Not because I can't handle criticism, it's because I was being plainly shown how much of a dunderhead I actually was when I was making that video. Had I just left it as me responding to a simple snippet of Gamertron's video, or hell, just saying a bunch of random words with Lady Maria as my avatar, things probably wouldn't have gone this way. But nope, I had to go and make a complete ass of myself. Why? Well, you tell me, because I gave up on that investigation long ago. Sure, I could point to Dirtbike Revan's avatar test by making a response to Illinagai's Triop, but not only is that completely unrelated to my fuck-up, but Reddin's video was only 4 minutes long as opposed to my 30-minute failed experiment. Not even Comic Jack made such a huge blunder with his own avatar test, and that's saying quite a bit. I assure you that a mistake of this gravity will not be repeated again, commentator or not. Do you want to know exactly when SOC went wrong? Like, the exact day? March 30th, 2016, the day our commentary on Roaring Thunder Pursuit was released.
Wow, you are easily impressed. Well, now instead of a Master Sword, I will have a gun for the rest of this video.
Fucking God, if you're gonna talk over her, lower her fucking volume. Normally, I'd prefer if you just shut the fuck up altogether, but I'm commentating on you, so I kinda need to know what you're saying.
I think I know of a better solution here. How about getting your hands on a video downloader? Hey, I know everyone said it already, but it would help.
You know how I said that co-ops are my favorite videos to do? Yeah, well, 3's a crowd, and this video proves it. First, let's talk about possibly the biggest factor in why this video turned out the way it did, and that's the dev cycle. A lot of shit happened during production of this video. First with DiCaprio DeLorean quitting Commentaries in the middle of scripting, leading MZXLR to make a new title sequence, then with Jason not being able to record his lines for a long time. By the time scripting actually got done, we lost the spark. The only thing on our minds at that point was pushing the damn thing out because we were sick to death of hearing about it. And because of our apathy, we didn't even put any effort into debunking RTP's statements. It's not so much we didn't pay attention to what he was saying, not that you really could, because he's terrible at explaining things due to him never taking his videos seriously while simultaneously taking them too seriously as far as tone goes, but we never even took the time to understand the full context of the situation leading up to the video RTP covered. Because there was a lot to brush up on, like more than anyone else could imagine. There is also the deal of him closing his channel and being forgotten about like a month prior to the video's release, but I think just mentioning that is enough on its own. Overall, this video just epitomizes making a video out of obligation, and come to think of it, that's a problem that plagued SAC up until its dissipation. See also the SAC comment 6760. RTP sounded like a fun bandwagon to catch, but the dream became a nightmare in short time, resulting in a video that essentially no one asked for, except maybe MDXLR, but that's only because she made the intro for it, and she ended up commenting on the damn video anyway. But I can at least take solace in the fact that this commentary got lost to history just as RTP did. And honestly, can we keep it that way? Just do me this one salad. Here we are, the #1 entry. This one I knew I had to make special. This is the video that I knew I could not change my mind about, one I absolutely detested, one that no matter how much time passes, I would look at it with the exact same disapproval each time. It's my commentary on The Amazing Atheist. Yeah, I've made no secret about how embarrassed I am of this video, so much to the point that I'm not even using the original footage just to make sure this video gets lost to history. Which I guess might be cancelled out because I'm talking about it yet again, but at the very least, everyone will have only heard of it through hearsay going forward. There's so much wrong with this video that going over the flaws would cause me physical pain. I know I said that my Cool Guy commentary was the first commentary I ever disowned, but this is just my first ever dud. And I think even calling it a mere dud completely delegitimizes how bad this commentary actually is. This commentary is basically the sequel no one asked for to my commentary on Cryopez. How, you may ask? Because every little fucking thing I said in this commentary was absolutely worthless, except for like one point where I said TJ was stating the obvious, and even then, that's not enough to save this video. Nothing could save this video. Fucking the Justice League, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the X-Men could all come together to try to save this video, and they just fucking rage quit because of how impassable it is. I mean, not for nothing, I found TJ's response to my video, yes he actually responded somehow, to be an obnoxious example of punching down at a smaller YouTuber. Yeah, more so than what MSkull did to basically Eevee. When you have millions of subscribers, I don't think someone who only had like 60 at the time should really be that much of a concern to you. On the other hand, some could argue that my video was just that horrendous that he felt so compelled to not let things go unanswered. Either way though, the shame this video brings me will haunt me to my grave, that I'm sure, because having to deal with TJ's fan brats in the wake of his response, coupled with how much my content stagnated in the months following, with some of my biggest duds popping up in that same time frame, those being the aforementioned No More Travis 368 co-op and the SACOM on RTP, it's safe to say this commentary was a bad omen for the 90-degree nosedive my commentary career would take in the early 2016. Now you've probably noticed I'm not really talking directly about the points I made in the commentary, and that's because I don't want to. Not even for the sake of history will I willingly go back and put myself through that video. I could redo it if I wanted to, but all I could really say is that TJ whinging about generalizations is hypocritical of him, given how he uses them all the time, with no irony. But that hardly matters. Besides, the damage has been done. There's no point in digging up a past commentary I swore would stay buried, especially not over one worthless commentary whose resting place I will continue to spit on for as long as I live. And if unable to spit, I will piss on it. And that about does it. The 10 worst commentaries I've ever made. I'm sure some entries you were expecting, some you weren't, but now you at least know where I stand regarding this particular question should it ever arise. Making this list really made me look back at my time as a commentator. If you ask me if I were to ever do it again, like from scratch in 2015 and not just simply restarting my career, my answer would be in a heartbeat. Because while being a commentator brought me a great deal of displeasure at times, it also kind of shaped me into a different person. A person who, for better or worse, was different from who I always was. I went from being a loser in New York to being a loser in New York with a mildly popular YouTube channel. So I guess I can call being a commentator a bittersweet symphony. Thanks for watching this video, and thanks for sticking by me all these years. I don't know where my post-commentary journey will take me, but I'm more than willing to share it with you all. Till we meet again, happy trails.